Hello, everybody. Mr.FrightNight here. This story is called The Keyhole. As I was growing up, my friends and I would go camping once a year. We would go to the campsite just down the road. It was an area away from all the homes and stores. It was an area with a lot of trees and a perfect area to camp. So one Saturday, we gathered all our camping equipment and walked down the road. It was Tommy, Scott, Steve, and me. As we got there, we took the trail we always take. We got to our camping spot. We set everything up, like our tents and our sleeping bags. Steve was always the one to dig a hole for the campfire and gather all the wood. After everything was done, we went fishing. We fished till dark. Scott and Tommy got lucky and caught some fish. We decided it was enough fish for dinner. We all went back to the campsite, and I cooked the fish, and we all ate them. After we settled down around the campfire, there was always someone to tell a scary story. And this time it was my turn. I remember a story my dad told me when we went camping. It was about a keyhole. The story goes, from what I can remember, went like this. It was about a guy. I think his name was Mike. Now, Mike was a traveling salesman. After driving all day, he decided to stop at a hotel for the night. As he checked in, the lady at the front desk had only one request. She said, "Don't go to room 3. It's locked and no one is allowed to enter it." Now, after a while, Mike started to wonder why the room was locked. An hour went by, and curiosity took over. So Mike decided to go to room 3. And he tried to open the door, but the door was locked. So Mike looked around and bent down and looked in the keyhole. At first, he saw nothing. As Mike started to walk away, he heard something coming from the room. So Mike went back to the door and looked in the keyhole again. But this time, he thought he saw a shadow moving across the room, but it wasn't clear what it was. Now Mike got down on the floor and looked under the door. There was a small gap he could look through, and he saw nothing. Now Mike the salesman went back to his room and laid down in his bed. He just started to fall asleep, and he heard footsteps coming from room 3 again. Now room 3 was just above his room. So Mike went back to the room and he looked in the keyhole. This time he saw a man standing next to a bed. The man was just looking at the bed and not moving. As Mike looked closer, there was a woman lying on the bed, also not moving. Now Mike started to get scared and looked away, not sure if it was real. He looked in the keyhole again, and the man had a large knife and started stabbing the woman on the bed. Mike was terrified. He ran back to his room and locked the door, trying to gather his thoughts. He tried to make sense of what he saw. Mike decided he wasn't going to stay the night, so he started to pack his bag. Mike didn't want to go to room 3 again, but he decided to look in the keyhole one last time. As he looked in, there the man was, just standing there, with the woman's bloody head in his hands. As Mike looked closer, the woman's eyes were a glowing red.